This video is brought to you by G2A.com. Check out the link in the description for more details. What's up guys, Jack here, and today I'm bringing you my updated impressions of Rainbow Six Siege, and this time it's based off the closed beta which is going on at the moment. So first off, what's in the beta to try? Well, you can expect to play 3 game modes. Disarm Bomb has one team defending a building with 2 bombs located somewhere in the vicinity, and the attacking team must use their diffuser to get in and defuse one of the bombs. Secure Area is fairly similar, but instead of 2 bombs, the attacking team must find a room that's housing a chemical agent and stand close to the canister for 10 seconds without any other enemies in the room. Finally, the last mode you can try is a classic for Rainbow Six in the form of Terror Hunt. You play against AI and your job is to eliminate all the enemies. Terror Hunt is playable in solo or with friends in co-op with 3 difficulties: normal, hard and realistic, and the harder it becomes the more enemies you face, as well as having a time limit to compete with. You'll get to experience 3 maps in the beta. House was a map that we've seen from the first alpha, but now it's accompanied with Consulate and Hereford Base. Consulate, as the name would expect, is based around a consulate building, and the surrounding area of this map looks particularly nice. It's also a fairly large building, so plenty of areas to work through and walls to blow up. Hereford is basically a training location where the special forces are trained, so it offers a very different setting to the other maps. And what's cool is that you can play all these maps in both daytime and nighttime versions, although this does seem to have very little impact on the gameplay in this game. You'll also be able to play all 3 game modes on each of the maps. As well as the 3 maps, you can experience playing as either SWAT, Spetsnaz, SAS, GIGN and the GSG-9, but of course the SAS is the best, right? Each operator you play as will be part of one of the factions, but they'll have all their own benefits and different equipment available to them, so picking the right operator for the situation will be very important. Sledge, for example, quite aptly carries around a breaching hammer and can make mincemeat out of fortified walls, whereas Castle, who is a SWAT guy, can place down reinforced barricades. With the game modes being 5v5, it is important for you to have a range of abilities across the team to ensure that you can either defend or attack properly. There will be a total of 20 operators when the game launches, and whilst they're all not available in the beta, you've still got quite a good selection of operators there to get stuck into and give you like a good feel of what the game is all about. Now moving on to the meat and potatoes, what's changed and is it actually any good? Well, let's start small, something like the grenade indicator for example. These have been removed for all but the frag grenades. You know, when a grenade comes towards you, a little indicator would come up telling you the direction and even an icon telling you what sort of grenade it was. This made no sense really for a tactical game before, and so these indicators have all been removed except for the frag grenades where they remained. Either way, having it removed from these stuns and the flashbangs definitely makes a lot of sense. The ballistic shields have also changed as well. The logic has been reversed on them. Previously, you could walk around with a shield and with your pistol being the only weapon you can use with a shield. If you crouched to ensure you couldn't be hit in the legs, it made you almost impossible to be killed because you've got the shield that's going to protect you, and you could also aim down the sight whilst protected for some super accurate shooting, therefore being able to kill enemies with your pistol, taking them out with headshots very easily. Clearly that doesn't make much sense for balance, and so now it's been changed, so you've got to choose what to do. Either you aim down the sight and the shield comes down exposing you to danger, or you keep your shield up and you'll be forced to hipfire your pistol. On the surface it's a good change, but after playing the beta for a while it's quite evident that the hipfire accuracy of pistols is way too good. Combine this with the shield and you're almost unkillable in most situations. The shield should be a support option, in my opinion. It shouldn't make you a killing machine. It should be you go in first, you protect, and your teammates use you as cover and take out the enemy from over your shoulder. But at the moment, because of how ridiculously accurate the hipfire is for the pistols, you can just walk around like the Terminator taking people out. There doesn't seem to be a hard counter to it at the moment, and remember, not all the operators are in the game too, so that could have an effect as well. But in terms of balance, I definitely recommend increasing the hipfire penalty when holding your shield. Really, I think it should be only possible to get kills whilst holding it on enemies who are extremely close range. Also, maybe adding a bigger flinch animation when someone shoots the shield thought could be an interesting solution. Moving on, hit markers were a big problem in the past for this game in what's meant to be a pretty realistic based shooter, and I'm glad to report that this has been successfully addressed. Now, instead of getting a hit marker every time you gain a hit on an enemy, you'll only get them on kill confirmation and on friendly fire as well, to ensure that you know if you're shooting a friendly. This is a good change because I don't really think hit markers have a place in this type of game. They've also made it really clear when you're hitting a person because the blood splats that come off the body are so obvious. Therefore, if you're on target with your shots, you're going to know about it and you won't have to rely on a hit marker, which is great. PC players will also notice a lot more recoil on the weapons. The alpha's recoil was extremely low on PC at least, and it really needed more recoil to at least challenge the player. The initial kick will be more now, and the recoil itself will be a lot more noticeable, but it's still pretty easy to control. The heartbeat sensor has also had a well-needed nerf. Rather than showing up enemies' positions in real time, it's got more of a ping system now where it will show up red circles to give you an idea of a player's location, but it's not in absolute real time. It's even had a name change for some reason. It's now the cardiac sensor. I'm not sure it needed a change of name, but I'm sure there was a good reason. Also, the audio is much improved and more refined. When we were playing the alpha, a lot of the audio was placeholder and nowhere near the finished article. Now you can expect a far more polished system. That goes for the UI as well, which has a lot more refinement than in the alpha. I do think the main menu is a little clunky and unintuitive at times, but overall it works as it needs to. Now then, moving on to a few things about the game that I really think need to be addressed before launch. First off, the customization system and operator unlocks. For some bizarre reason, you have to leave a lobby or match if you want to customize your operators, weapons and equipment. This is really bad and it will frustrate a lot of players. It just seems bizarre to me that if you want to put a suppressor on or a new optic for your MP5, you got to go quit the game and go to the main menu. Just doesn't make sense to me, and I'm sure that there is a technical reason for it, but in terms of gameplay and player interaction, it's pretty terrible. The second thing that will annoy a lot of players is the downtime between rounds. The nature of this game is round based, so if you die you're going to be out till the next round. And that's fine, you know what you're getting yourself in for when you play the game. And also, whilst you're dead, you can still help your team by using the cameras and communicating. It's not that though, it's the downtime between rounds, the ending scoreboard, the reloading of the map, then having to wait 45 seconds to pick your operator. That wait time will definitely turn off a lot of players who crave that instant action fix. I think the drone / setting up defensive phase time limit is fine, but the not playing the game segments go on for ages sometimes, and this is also compounded by the fact that you can't mess around with customizing your operators and equipment when you're dead in game. Like I just said, if you want to do that, you got to go back to the main menu, and it doesn't make much logical sense in my opinion. Thirdly, I know that you can now turn off the outlines and names of teammates if you want to, but I'd still love a small Battlefield style chevron above their heads as a third option that scales with distance. Sometimes the HUD can still be really messy and actually block what you're shooting at, which is annoying. Apart from those gripes, I have to say that I'm having a lot of fun with this game in closed beta. It's incredibly addictive for me, and the fact that you can do stuff like knock a hole in the wall and shoot an enemy through it is pretty amazing. Some of the micro destruction in this game is incredible, and rather than just being a showpiece or a set piece of destruction, you can use it thoughtfully and tactically, which is great. Smashing a barricade down with a hammer or breaching a wall with a charge so you can flank an enemy is extremely satisfying. And most of the time I've spent playing in the beta so far has been solo with teammates who aren't communicating that much, but I've still enjoyed it. So when I manage to get some friends together and we begin to employ some super hardcore MLG Pro tactics, I'm sure it's going to become even more enjoyable. The developers have also just announced that all the new maps released for the game in DLC will be free to play on. It's a great move which has garnered a lot of respect from the gaming community. This way they're not going to split the community and player base up, so that means 11 maps at launch plus how many new ones they release in the future. So I think if the developers and publisher Ubisoft support this game post launch with regular content updates, new maps, new game modes, new operators, they could have a pretty healthy player base and a successful title on their hands. And of course, if they focus on esports events too, setting up tournaments and offering prize money, they could have a genuinely good esports game here too, providing all of the balance issues and kinks are worked out. And that's all I've got for now really. The only big feature that's missing for me still is having doors that you can open slowly or blow up as in previous Rainbow Six titles, but I think it's probably too late in development for something like that now. Maybe we'll see doors that you can open in DLC maps. And let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. If you've played in the beta, what are your feels? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Are you just somewhere in the middle? I'll definitely be posting more content in the near future on this game, so watch out for that. Thanks for watching as always. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.